Hey, welcome back friends! I've been away from making videos for a while, but all of your support and comments have been amazing. Thank you for being such a positive, friendly bunch. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my tool for implementing text dialogue in Godot. Last year, while making my game Welcome to the Afterlife for the Community Game Jam, I ran face first into the problem of implementing dialogue for my game's characters. Since time was in short supply during the jam, I took the easy way out and hard-coded the text right into the dialogue player script. It worked, but it certainly wasn't a technique that would be scalable for a larger project. There's a link to the game and the Godot project in the description if you want to play and check out how it works. Since the RPG I'm working on right now is dialogue heavy, I had to come up with a more robust, scalable way to deal with the mountains of text data, and I'm going to share that with you today. So, let's get to it. The XPDialog system tool is on the Godot asset library, so it's easy to get. Just search for dialog in the asset library and it will pop up. Simply download and install everything. Once installed, go to the project settings, and under the plugins tab, enable the XPDialog tool. Now you have access to the story file editor under the Projects Tools menu. The XPDialog tool comes with two editors, the story file editor and the dialog editor. The story file editor allows you to create and manage dialog records, while the dialog editor allows you to edit one of the records by entering text into nodes on a node graph. In the story file editor, you can create records and delete them by checking their checkbox and pressing delete. Each record is given a unique dialog ID or DID, but you can also give it a unique human-readable name and a human-readable description detailing the contents of the record. Records can also be assigned tags. Open the Tag Manager to create and delete tags for this story project. Once a tag is created, it can be assigned to a record by selecting the desired tag from the drop-down menu, checking the record checkboxes, and pressing the Apply button. Tags can be removed in the same way with the Remove button. The applied tags can be viewed in each record's tag drop-down menu. Once we have lots of records, finding a single one might be difficult, but in the search bar we can search our records via the descriptions, dialog ID, or the record name. We can also filter the records via their applied tags. At the moment we have a few records, but no text data is stored in any of them. To edit a record, select the Edit button to be brought into that record's dialog editor. The dialog editor is a node graph that stores text data in nodes. To create our first node, click the Add Node button. Each node is assigned a unique node ID, or NID. Text can be typed directly into the node's text box or via an expanded editor window. If you find you're typing a lot of the same thing into each node, you can save and load templates. Each node has one input and any number of outputs that can be linked together. The number of output slots can be increased for conditional branching. Each slot stores the NID it's linked with. When your dialog player loads the story file, it can choose which slot to follow during runtime. However, linking nodes together is not at all required. If your dialog is linear, your dialog player might simply iterate over the node IDs. Once all our text is filled in, we can head back to the story file editor to save our story. Using Save Story As saves a story file that can be reloaded back into the editor. But if we're sure we're finished with our work, we can use Bake Story As, which strips out all unnecessary data from the story file for use in our exported game. Stories can also be exported as a CSV file to your local hard drive. The purpose of this is for localization and translation. Export the story, send it anywhere to be translated, then re-import the translated CSV file and save a new story file for each language. When your game runs, it can choose which story file to load based on your application's language settings. The story files can be read via a helper class provided in the add-on folder called a story file reader. Implementing the front-end dialog player and/or the text dialog boxes is left up to you and your unique project. However, there is an example dialog player included with this project. To use a baked story file, load the story reader class from the add-on folder, create an instance of the class, load your desired baked story file, and finally pass it into the story reader's read function. The README found in this project and on the GitHub repo provides more details about how to use the story reader class and defines each of its functions. Let's take a look at the demo dialog player by pressing F6. And there you have it. If you think this dialog editor can be improved, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, and your questions are always welcome. I'm using this tool to create my dream RPG. If you're interested in the game I'm making, be sure to follow me on Twitter where I post devlogs. If you like what I do and want to join the community, subscribe and hit the like button. It might seem small, but it helps out a lot. I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, happy debbing!